All right, welcome here, game 2. Southern Regionals. Oh, I forgot to change the colours of the teams on the scoreboard, Phil.
We need to do
but,
that.
But Zig look like they're the same colour, which is super awesome.
Not only will the people at home get confused, I'll get confused. Such is the way my brain works most of these days.
Standard operating procedure for you, isn't it?
It is.
Confused, yeah. It's better than overwhelmed.
So we have a beautiful day here today in sunny Adelaide, bringing it to you from West Beach.
Bring it to us, Phil, bring it.
3.5 minutes from the beach, so you've got a break on during the day. Just take off the cleats, go down to the water, jump in, bask in our beautiful sandy beaches, white sand, shallow waters, warmed up in the Gulf here.
No sharks.
No sharks, no jellyfish, no crocodiles, no alligators, no piranhas. Just beautiful King George whiting and blue swimmer crabs.
Yeah,
if you're interested.
Nip your toes. Although, to be honest, been to the beach a lot, never had my toes nipped by a crab.
You just need to take your old garden rake down, and if they do nip your toes, they're saying eat me is what I figure.
Yeah, fair enough. So it looks like we had a flip, and I think Chile won the flip.
So
all I hope for is that they don't change colours. That would be
Zig Theory coming off a very close game. Won't spoil it for you. Have a look in the live stream. Go back. Brought to you by Ulti TV. Support us, Patreon. We're thinking of getting those cameras in the end zone pylons. We're going to get those pylons.
That's what we need, like 1 million Patreons. We can get end zone camera pylons.
So do $1 each for 1 million patrons. That'd be great. Like it's just $1. That's all it would cost. Like $1 each. If you're feeling a bit generous, $2, $5, $10, whatever you feel you can afford. This will be your tithe. It'll make you feel good. You don't have to go to church to do that. You just have to sit at home in your armchair. Click a few buttons on your phone.
The Church of Ulti TV.
I love this church.
Don't make me preach.
Word. And the word is Ulti TV, and the word is Ultimate Frisbee, or just Ulti or Ultimate.
Or Frisbee.
Or Frisbee. If you're speaking to a friend, just say Frisbee. I still like to talk to my friends and say, I play Ultimate. And they go, what the? I used to put the Frisbee in because I thought it was necessary, but now I'm just sort of like...
It's more fun having the ambiguity or that. I think it makes them remember the conversation a bit more.
Yeah, it does a little bit, doesn't it? I mean, the name of the game is Ultimate, as far as I'm aware. It's not Ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah, not UFC. No one gets kicked in the head on purpose.
Non-contact
I don't know
sport.
if I've ever seen someone get kicked in the head in Ultimate.
No, I don't think I have.
I'm sure it's happened. Like if you were laying out and someone's feet are like possibly. Alrighty, so I'm just going to flip. That's the Zig ladies, and I'm just going to flip across to the Chile line because they're actually going to do the pulling.
Pulling team.
So they must have chose to defer because it looked like they won the toss. Or they chose which end. That's the other thing. Although you probably choose the other end if you're going to choose ends.
I think you choose the right-hand side of the screen because that's where the wind is
like
coming from.
When I win the toss, the best thing to say is we'll go on offense down that end, and if the other team just agrees, you've got kind of a double. You know what I mean? It works quite a bit.
Head theory.
It works because like people are like, oh yeah, okay, no worries.
Good, yeah.
You're like, hang on. They've got the Frisbee and they're going downwind at the beginning.
And then they say, okay, we'll take defence down the other end. You go, sure. And you sort of put it in their mind.
Yeah.
And they've said it, so hey, it's too late now to retract it.
Yeah. Oh, well, people are generally agreeable, so. It's a bit like heads I win, tails you lose.
Yeah, we'll discuss spirit later on, shall we?
Sure.
There's the pull, and as expected, with that wind, just making it to the halfway mark.
I'll take that from the sideline, I reckon.
Could be the story of the day, but essentially a short field for Zig Theory. Choose to brick it.
First ball 5 minutes into the time allotted. That's standard ultimate procedure. We don't need referees, but maybe timekeepers. Actually, we don't need timekeepers. You just need a big clock.
Yeah, so interesting that they did decide to bring it. That's going to bring it back another 15 metres, I reckon.
Yeah, I'd probably go
from the sideline. Just
I reckon.
One, two, maybe even three
you
less
get stuck,
throws.
but you almost could take a shot to the end zone from there.
So
now they're
retracting
like
another
all
10
this way
metres.
back, whereas you could have just
So
taken a shot.
Lost 20, gained
Potentially.
another 10 on that throw. Now we're up to where the disc went out on the sideline, but on the other side of the field, near side of the field this time instead.
Interesting shape going on here.
And that one's just pushed a little bit too far in front of the runner Dunball. Lovely plane taking off in the background. Only a few minutes from Adelaide Airport. Lovely intercept there as well.
Stall out. Stall out.
One more
Did
another.
look pretty high.
I'd take the
It's
turnover.
Oh, it is. It's an uncontested stall out,
Yeah.
I think. There you go. Did look like one of those frantic throws right at the last second there, didn't it? Where you've heard the 9 and you're like, my throw's longer than 1 second. So
You're wondering whether they're going to say the 10 straight away for a fast count, but by the time the 10 comes, you've
it's a bit late
either
to
way.
argue the toss, yeah.
Going to get something over the top to the end zone. We're going to look for a dump.
They're not well drilled at looking for the dump, which is good, but quite often just after they look for the dump, there's a downfield.
Yeah, because all the defenders are sort of like thinking, it's not going
sneaky.
to come.
That's why I never used to look for my dump till like stall 8 or something.
Was that the reason? Oh, nice effort there.
Yeah, a little bit too much pepper on that one.
And something I noticed in the previous game as well with these Zig Theory girls is that they do like pushing the envelope on their throws, like really putting it into that space in front of the player, expecting a lot from their players, which isn't a bad thing in itself. Like, I do like that theory that, and I guess like I'm thinking of the Japanese men's team, Buzz Bullets. They always used to do that, have to lay out for
Like
everything.
zing it, right?
Yeah, which doesn't give your defender any chance. But at the same token, you've got to realise that it has to be a realistic throw. We see a turnover there by Spicy Chili. Zig Theory getting it right on the door of the end zone. There's an easy first point, as easy as you're likely to see today by Zig Theory. Taking the lead, 1-0. Where else on my rant? Can you remember?
We were going to rant about something, weren't we?
Leading passes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Because in that scenario, like it's like an edge pass, so you've got a very short window of time to hit. But if you float it in front behind her, there's like she could just run onto it. There's almost like an infinite, like 3 or 4 second time.
exactly. I think that's where I was heading with it all.
Yeah.
Just got to make sure it floats in front of them at the very least, so that if it does come down to the ground, it's going to come down gently. It's going to give them a good opportunity for an easier layout to catch it before it hits the ground. But nevertheless, it is what it is, and I like the fact that they are pushing the envelope, and that's what top-level Frisbee is all about.
I remember, I reckon it was 2006, my first Nationals, I reckon. We took a Savage crew over with Joel Pillar and a bunch of Victorians. They went shopping on the second day, but it was kind of a...
Another story?
Well, that's another story. But anyway, I remember, it was kind of my first big tournament, and I got there, and there was just fields and fields and fields of people like we see here playing Frisbee, and I'm like, this is the best. Because, max before that, I've probably seen 1 or 2 fields at the state games, or we were probably playing 4-on-4 pickup at different times.
Back in the day when Frisbee was just a fingerling, little tadpole here in South Australia. Now look at how it's gone. We've got 4 men's teams, 2 women's teams, I believe.
Yep, zig and zag. Oh, lovely shot. Goal.
And that was floated nicely to the end zone. She's happy about that one. She's celebrating, comes back as...
that was a great throw. Just put it out in its place.
We get to see it on the replay here.
You're fine, mate. It's up there.
Floats perfectly into the hands. Doesn't trouble the receiver, number 8, at all. Happy as a light.
Oh, celebration. A little bit of celebration on the sideline from the Zig player, at the end of that there.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the word for it when you celebrate because someone else is celebrating? I don't know.
Good time to get punters involved if they could write that in the comments section.
You know this one? Good times. Do. We can have Chic? No.
Chic.
Good times.
Freak.
Le Freak.
Le Freak. Yeah, that's the one.
It's actually Good Times. Le Freak's a different song.
Yeah.
That has also an
Le
amazing bass.
I was getting there.
Yeah.
I was thinking Celebrate Good Times.
I had a bit of a cold last week, so the
times, come on.
Earth, Wind and Fire, isn't it that one? That's one of their more cheesy. If you go on YouTube, the really old Earth, Wind and Fire stuff is amazing. Like the back in like 70, before they went full disco, they were full funk.
Yeah.
That's very cool. That's a great crossfield pull as well.
We like the funk.
Shout out to Tim Rockwood if he happened to tune in. He always talks funk with me, quotes me P-Funk lyrics.
Nice.
WFDF broadcast director.
That's another one that's just didn't have the right shape. And this is what I'm talking about with the throws that Zig Theory have. Like they push it out. It needed to be flatter so it floated, but it just had that little bit of inside out. The wind took it and just carried it further away from the
if you
receiver.
Put it like inside in, I guess, is what you're trying to do there.
Straight into the
Although
path.
it's a net gainer at the end of the day. I guess that's it's like throwing touch, isn't it? If you can, like you probably talk about like 15 degrees difference on the actual release, and you got a goal.
And the player behind really had a feeling that they had a chance to pick that one up.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, they didn't throw it to me, so I'm not going to.
Really got to have good awareness. You've got to think that every Frisbee is yours, regardless of whether it is or isn't.
Yeah,
not
or the
to
ones
the
where
extent
it's like it's a little bit high and you don't try and get it because you think there's someone behind, but maybe there's not. So.
Or if you're someone behind and you think the person in front of you is going to get it.
Super easy to see that from the view of the camera up here. You can kind of see all the angles and.
Number 18 for
nice defense.
Spicy Chili, reading that
Takes
better.
it away.
Strong.
I thought that was a good.
grab.
That was a good like edge throw. Right, drops right down. Usually the defenders don't get a chance, but
again,
she was right on that.
The wind was coming into play there because it's coming right to left, far side to near side, just holding it up and not making it go over the top of that defender. I was thrown behind. Would have been a great reflex.
We should probably shout out to Simon Talbot. I reckon he might be tuning in if he's not here somewhere. Do you know if he's coaching someone?
Should be, could be.
Anyway, I'm sure he loves himself some Victorian Ultimate, as you would expect. Apologies for the commentary from me, Simon. Might be breaking all the rules.
Just chatting, that's all we're doing.
Yeah.
Just chatting.
Keeping you company. I've actually watched a few games back with no commentary, and it's actually quite lonely to watch. So even bad commentary, just talking rubbish like myself, is better than maybe no commentary. If you don't like it, just turn the volume down and crank your best tunes. Drop on the fingertips there.
She wants a quick play.
Oh, great defense off the back.
That was a great read. See that
She was super early. She knew that was coming right before.
Yeah, she saw it as well, yeah.
She's like, love that you're kind of out of the eye line of the thrower at that point too, because you're on the other side of it.
Another one thrown behind the player.
It's like they're trying. I get the fast movement is good, but fast movement when you balance and
You're going to have that poise.
it's like fast and there's a tiny bit too fast.
That was a great put.
Yeah, that was that perfect edge.
Goodbye to Van. Back again. So Spicy Chili looking to break it up wind. It's as close as we've seen at the moment to possession at this end of the field. That one goes to turf. Worms will be saying thank you for that one.
1-1 still, Phil, is it?
It is 1-1.
Yeah, it's interesting because like Zig's had.
Well, technically they've been two breaks in a row.
Ah, yeah.
Not quite what I meant then, but in spirit, because we are at 1-1, so having this upwinder would be very advantageous.
Interesting moment in that play where the zig theory, so the Chile player got it on the line and the zig theory ran, oh, that's a Rexy. Hey, Rexy. The zig player got it down the line and the defender kind of ran past her, behind her, and then around and then came back and put the mark on.
Yeah.
I was always big on not going behind them, because if you're behind them, you can't stop it. If you just run on the inside, you might just be in the way of their eye line or their throw. So really good to stay on the inside, like on the force side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like, it's just a tiny thing, but for that half a second while you're out on the outside, then they've got open throw for the whole field at that point. So if you go on the inside,
defensive awareness.
Yeah, it's just tiny. Lots of little things.
Lots of those little 1%ers, 2%ers.
I should do coaching. I'm doing commentary. I should do coaching.
I hear there's a position vacant. UniSA looking for a coach.
Really?
Yeah.
Do I have to do like working with children certificates and all this stuff? Or
Okay, we won't mention that, shall we then?
Okay. I probably need to get it done. I do some work in schools in my other life of audiovisual, which is probably useful having.
Yeah, one of those necessary costs of life these days. Or for a good reason.
Theoretically shouldn't need it if I'm working with uni students, right?
The problem is that I think we are getting a lot younger uni students. Yeah, I agree with you on that one,
true.
but it's a moot point. It is what it is.
Should be a working with students.
Dot the I's, cross the T's.
I guess there's all sorts of rules about these things now.
That's right.
Due to some dodgy tennis coaches and such over the years.
Gymnastic coaches.
Yes. I think there's specific rules if you're a coach of someone, I think.
Yeah. True. They shouldn't call it a working with children's check then, should they? It should be something else, because they're not children, you're right.
Well, the working for children one is for children, but
it'd be, well, yes, if you're in schools.
Coaching certificate thing or something.
But as a coach, there just needs to be, it covers the same thing anyway. Not
my plan. I'll just go stand on the sideline and yell, I'll give a six-pack if you lay out, and just repeat that over and over.
So after a short timeout and
Horo play.
Nothing commentary by your commentary team, we've got a horizontal play by Zig Theory trying to open up the field.
Oh, like Moses through the Red Sea. Just snuck it through. Oh, get it.
Who's going to pick it up?
Oh, great work.
Her own work. Puts out the lefty backhand down the field. In play, right, knocking on the door. Red zone stuff here by Zig Theory. Had to wait for quite a few players to catch up. Lucky to not have a stall count on that mark. Zig very happy about that setup play from
the timeout. Wasn't a turnout or a time over?
No, so
someone's trying to convince me it's a time over, not a turnout.
Is it? Okay, going against the grain of what conventional wisdom tells us happens after a timeout. Scoring the point up 2-1.
Yeah, up and about. It feels with the play, because like Chile scored quite a quick play when they scored, that the amount that Zig's been on offense for a lot more in these first couple of points. So it feels like they should be up by more than 2-1, just because they've just had the frisbee heaps.
Yeah.
Not always how it works. It's a bit like everyone at halftime in the Super Bowl. They're all talking about time and possession. And, oh, Patrick Mahomes hasn't had a touch since blah, 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 blah. But that's because there was a fumble return to a touchdown, so that the other team's offense went on twice in a row effectively. So you get a touchdown and you don't have to go on. So that stat is not actually reflective of the game at that point, because. No. But, you know, it's a stat. You need the context too.
You do. You can have time in possession, but if you're not scoring with that time in possession, it means nothing. So wind's just picked up a little bit. Let's see how far this pull will go. That's a good pull.
Lovely. Edge down, get a bit of lift from the...
Just about 2-3 metres beyond the brick mark. Now that was dropped, or... I thought it was touched, but obviously not.
I think they called it, and that was a stoppage, and then they kept playing. I'm finding that quite amazing that went through her without her touching that.
Yeah, maybe she just decided not to catch at the very last moment.
That's impressive to do that. They didn't really deviate or anything, so she's the only one who really knows.
It's a great crossfield swing for an easy break side score.
2-0.
See Rex Johnson on the sideline doing his thing, little dance.
Not biased to South Australia at all. Independent consultant.
Making sure all teams get a fair and equal turn at getting live streamed.
So I assume the other game must be ellipsis maybe? Oh, it must be ellipsis zag. So really almost all the games are going to have a South Australian team in it on the women's side anyway. So did I start the right stream? Well, what do you reckon, Rexy? Rexy's just having a look at the pool that went straight through. Let's show the people this is the allegedly dropped pool from before.
See it there, and it's hard to say. She did go for the catch. Could have gone straight through her hands, though.
That's difficult to do, to
totally miss it.
Totally miss it like that when it's coming straight at you, but that's...
It does happen, though.
Yeah, yeah. It's like an old nutmeg or something. But as I said, it didn't look like it deviated or anything like that. There wasn't really any kind of sign that it got nicked on the way through.
I'm definitely not going to question the honesty of the players.
Well, I will if I think it's warranted. I don't think that one is, but there's a good reason they don't give me the commentary headset very often. I'm a little bit blunt about things sometimes, but...
So Sleep picking up the disc,
like
taking the brick mark.
The worst one so far today was that one where there was the travel. She ran back and then threw it into the hand, and then hang on, I get a do-over because that one was a bit weird.
Exactly. For context, go see previous game.
That's the other game. Yeah, yeah.
That was a solid throw into the ground as well. Chile looking for something long.
This is where it's 2-0, whereas it feels like it should be more. So the nice. Just over the top of the head of the receiver there.
Dunmore, will she unload with a big backhand, lefty? No, opts for something through the middle.
That was sick. That was great. Little touch and had it turn over.
Attack the discs.
Oh, defended.
Cannot slow down, especially at this level. Okay, getting a lot of turnovers in this point. A bit uncharacteristic from what we've seen so far. I wonder what this is due to. What are your thoughts, Mike?
I don't know.
You think they're just a little bit unsettled, want to get another point on the board quickly?
To sort of jam it, maybe. I think that there's a danger for Zig at this time because you've had more of the play. You feel like you're winning, and then all of a sudden you look at it and the score's the same. There you go.
Yeah, looked at the matchup there. Saw Dunmore with a slight height advantage and athletic advantage over a player, and just decided to throw that one just to her advantage, as in height-wise. Brings it down with ease. It's a good score by Zig Theory as they again take the lead, 3-2.
I was just talking before how, like, if we get enough Patreons, in addition, after we've got like a cone camera on every cone, we could look at getting drones and all sorts of things. And then I'm like, I can't actually take off my drone here because it's an airport. And then I was saying that I hadn't seen a plane all day, and now we've just had 2 planes in a row. So
yeah.
Adelaide's not exactly the Dubai International Airport.
No, we're not. Not JFK either.
No. There's no Hungry Jack's anymore there, though. I think there's a Macca's, though.
Okay.
Hungry Jack's got closed to the Macca's, so they've kind of extended the whole end of it, and there's a Boost Juice bar in there, which is good.
Yes, there is.
There's a muffin break up the other end if you're interested. We've got everything.
Sugar fix.
There's a Cooper's bar. You can have
buy
a Parmigiana for $30.
You can fly, yeah, and have a nice cold Cooper's ale.
Yeah, you just come into Adelaide and visit the airport and then leave again.
There's not much there, but what there is just what you need. really, isn't it? You don't need all these big shops.
I think Macca's is a good improvement over Hungry Jack's if you're there at breakfast time, I think. Oh, look at the hang time. Oh, lovely, Paul. Defence is right on it for the first throw. That's excellent.
And a straight up force.
Oh. Bit of zing on that one.
Getting in the face. That's good defence.
Seems like Chile are definitely happy to go the big ones. Once again, they're like quick and efficient. There's something to say for taking big shots. Like, if it doesn't work, the frisbee's way down the other end.
Look, I feel you've definitely got to test the opposition out with those big shots. You've got to say, look, we're ready and willing to put it long. Downwind is definitely going to be the place to put it long.
They had someone poaching off the other defender there, so there was a defender in the right spot, but it just came under the disc a little bit.
It was a 2-on-1, and so something went wrong in the defensive matchups there to create that.
Also, in the offense, you shouldn't really have your free offender with a defender from someone, because the other person's basically taken the defender into the play. Anyway, goal, whichever.
Tying things up, 3-all again.
Look at these guys. Someone tell them that you get a much better look at the frisbee from side on. Name and shame in the comments if you know those guys.
Well, that is the scoring end.
Well, I guess so. Like, if everything happens in front of you, that's pretty cool.
And
I did
the
watch,
other good thing is actually they've got the Suns to their back.
That's probably the main reason for it, isn't it? Come and sit under the trees over here. So, bumped into Nathan Kalakovic, epic video content creator, and he was basically like, he would just go to the end zone, like teams pay him to basically create highlight videos, so he'd just go to spend his whole game walking end zone to end zone to be at the end zone that they're probably going to score at. Was battling the rain and the wind in Limerick. It was pretty miserable.
It's not the best time to be in that job.
Oh.
But get some great shots though if it's in the rain, slippery disc, wet grass.
Yeah,
perfect for layouts. Lots of action, lots of highlights.
I did see him, he was live streaming him editing highlights. I guess that's one way to make extra content, right? So you set up your editing machine and then you just have a whole bunch of people to chat with while you're editing. I find editing the most dull and boring thing ever. So
some people love it.
But I never thought about live streaming it. Little layout on the D there.
Is that by Chung, I think?
Might have got a little touch on the way through here too. So, it actually bounced up. It might have...
yeah, it did bounce up into the shins. And Lee feeling the grass.
See, it's still 3-all. This is the danger, right? You feel like you're doing great, but...
No call on that one by Van. She goes up, gets ridden in the back a little bit, but feels as though it's probably going to be out anyway, not being able to catch that. Sarah Lee picks up the disc. Bit of body, bit of muscle there. Chung unable to pick that one up. Goes through the hands.
There's again a lot of zip on the disc where it could have been a softer. It's hard to do on the flick side though.
Flicks are very hard to
make
do.
Them tough. I'm good at that. That's
one of the things I'm good at. On the sideline.
Oh, lefty to no one.
Oh, that was up in the air for a long time. No one thought she was going to bring that down, but she did. Had eyes for the disc only, wanted to bring that down. Oh. Conservation of greatness coming into effect.
Here we
Done
go.
well, she'll let it go. She'll let it go. There was never any doubt about that. You just had to run hard for that end zone. As soon as she had it in her hands, there was that separation. She saw it.
She kind of did a cutback, which isn't what you want in that
no,
scenario.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. Like, you've got to recognise who's picking it up, and you just got to sprint to that end zone. If you don't get it, that's fine, but you know it's going to be put 9 times out of 10 by Dunmore.
9 times.
9.9.
Oh, yeah, 9.9. That's probably about right.
Probably shouldn't.
But
round.
it is way down the other end now, right? That's the other plus of this type of thing.
Yeah, and we have seen.
There's a point where the level gets high and it doesn't work like this because if you give them the frisbee back, they pretty much score every time. So
it really depends on how well the other team can go into the wind. So some people are really solid on their huck and sets, especially when it's really windy. It's not really windy here.
Kind of call. Probably a pick call, I guess.
But there's definitely an advantage to the left side.
The whole first game there wasn't a pick call. How cool is that? Oh, the fire truck's here. Someone said there's a fire truck coming. They're going to just spray water in the air and cool as hell. It's only going to be like 25, 28 today. It's beautiful.
And it feels just
enough
glorious.
of a breeze to stay cool. Like it's just
There's absolutely not a cloud in the sky, so you need to slip, slop, slap. Put your sunscreen on.
Clouds don't save you anyway, but
no, that's true.
Since there's nothing else happening, I'm going to show you the fire engine. Here we go. Look at this. Not lying. Totally a fire engine. Maybe it's a fire engine stoppage.
I think that's a bit of show and tell by Elsa Enting-Hawk.
She's got the contacts.
Look what I picked up the other day, a fire truck.
Just in. Through the fingers there.
Bobble catch, 71. She'll be unhappy with herself there.
I think that's a hard one because the angle of the frisbee's. Oh, it comes straight back. Angle of the frisbee's not straight onto your hands. It's hard to make that adjustment. You almost need to go like left hand on top instead of right hand on top.
Got to catch those. Oh, was she in? Was she out?
No, that's definitely.
I think she tapped it from outside, so she was
well
grounded.
on the ground at that point.
Yeah.
I think she jumped when she tapped it, but that's not how it works, unfortunately. Actually had a call with the folks from Greatest Bag the other day. They were explaining how Ultimate has absolutely gone gangbusters in China. Like some Instagram equivalent influencers just got frisbees and thought they were cool. And then all of a sudden it just went nuts. And it's literally their second biggest market outside the US now when they didn't even think about selling bags to China before.
Amazing.
Crazy. Anyway, they were...
Why wouldn't you sell it to the biggest market on the planet?
Well, because no one played frisbee or knew what it was before this crazy kind of expansion thing happened.
Well, that's the same for iPhones and all of Apple's stuff, wasn't it? Like, you create the market.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
You say there's plenty of people here.
Anyway, Spicy got it right down to the end zone there, just couldn't quite get it in the last little bit. That's sometimes the hardest part.
So that's 2 or 3 times this match that Spicy Chili have been able to get it that close to the upwind end zone and not being able to convert. They'd be very unhappy with that. We see a lovely cross field there to Dunmore, and there she puts it up again. This is what I'm talking about, 9.9. That's a beautiful put. Oh. Just ran out of, number one, ran out of legs at the end. Spent all the gas in the tank in the first half of that run. Didn't have the legs to carry it over. And
not sure who that is. Number 20. No, it's not 27. They've got ZT on the front of their shirts.
That's number 1 on the back.
Number 1 on the back, all right.
If you're going to have a T-shirt with number 1 on the back, you're going to have to live up to the expectations from the crowd, I think.
Who are the famous number 1s you're thinking of, Phil?
Could go Andy Baddocks. That's only local though.
Yeah, we'll pay that. I think he's famous.
Oh, great ho, Superman effort.
Just off the fingertips.
21 by Chile. She's the lead player for their team. You can tell. Picks up this. She was the one that picked it up quickly before, threw it long. Dunmore! Is there anything this lady can't do?
Going to do the scuba. Did she do the scuba spike again?
She's a bit winded. I think she's a bit winded after that one.
She'll take it every day. Let's give that one a 4-star as well. That was pretty wild. She kind of like cut the wrong way in the end. Like turned back that way and then the disc just went and she's like, right, okay, I'll go that way. I got you back.
Tell you what, you talked about editing before. We've got our jobs work cut out for us. First 2 games, Roessler and Dunmore for this Zig Theory team. They've been head-to-head competition all morning.
Yeah.
What is going on? Do they have jackpot going on? Who does the best layout? Who does the most impressive work on the team?
I
think they must.
Mickey's probably got it. There's two huge layouts, almost identical down that end zone that she did, which were pretty amazing. So,
but Rosler's in the
I
previous
probably want to
game.
see the a defensive layout.
I want to see them
That's what I
side by
want to
side,
see.
actually.
Yeah,
Can we do a split screen on those?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Give them points.
Like Rosler's doing the layouts on the right end zone, and good TV, Mickey.
She'll want to watch that back.
All right, so 4-3. So what we kind of need a D and a score. Maybe some Rosler magic. I'm calling it. She'll do something magic in the future at some point. That's fair?
Yeah, totally fair.
Solid, yeah. If it's not this game, it's the game after. If it's not the one after that. So it's interesting getting the footage. Like, is it good to be streamed, do you think? You get to watch yourself back and improve? Or is it bad to be streamed because everyone else gets to, like, scout your team? I think it's probably a net positive.
It'd be great to think that we're at that level where people actually scout the team. And I was thinking that actually leading up to the
people
this
definitely
regionals.
scout in the open division. I'm pretty sure.
In Div 1, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They'll be looking at the higher teams.
Just off the fingers, foul called. Didn't look like it came out the exact way she wanted it to. Uncontested foul, hand signals. That's actually something that's been awesome since we started streaming, because people watch it back enough and realise that no one knows what's going on, that they all start doing the hand signals now, which is great.
It is nice to see.
There is also hand signals. Back when I started, there wasn't even hand signals. Just like, could be standing on the field and not know what the call was.
Yeah, the hand signals that we had when we started, probably we couldn't repeat what they actually meant. Knocking on the door here, number 8, disc in
I do
hand.
think one Joel Pillar has a East Coast biased hand signal he's used in a game before.
That was an interesting choice of club selection for that shot. Just a slight over the top, left hand flick. Managed to carry to the right person, was spot on the mark. I was very impressed with that. Here we see it again. Just a little bit over the top. Just
high release, little bit of edge on the blade there.
Another player may have chosen a bit of a push pass, but no, flick release.
So that's fair. If you put the edge on it, it will drop down. If you try and put them flat, sometimes they wobble to the right. So if you go the outside in, that's probably a better way to do it. And we are at 4s. Once again, I feel like Zig's levels dropped a bit from the last game. Like they've kind of dropped down to the level.
How can you say that after Dunmore's layout?
That's good level, but I'm just thinking like they were quite sharp but consistent passes that flowed down the field.
Yeah.
Whereas it seems like they're not quite. There's a few small connections not working as much. So.
Well, we are at game 2. So both these teams fighting hard in the first. Will this continued sort of like turnover rate continue to increase throughout this game, do you think? Or do you think they'll start to make their connections?
You would hope that gets better through the game. I guess like because Chile's kind of doing the hucking kind of thing, maybe that they're more tempted to do that.
Now, as we're talking here, I'm seeing one of the players walking by, putting a frisbee on her head, which indicates to me that the sun is biting out there a little bit.
It's burning my brain a little bit. How's it over there under the shelter?
Look, under the shelter, I can't really feel it. There's a lot of shade going on here where I
was hoping these trees would kind of give me something, but they're just not quite.
Bit of something. Let that roll back.
Anyway, the breeze is nice. That's balancing it out.
Throw it back. No. Lee go straight through the middle, straight down the guts.
It's like 3 defenders just either side of that.
Lee's working hard. We should get a result here. Yeah, she gets it back now.
That's
it's a bit too quick. Didn't really...
Travel retracted. See, that's what's supposed to happen if travel's called and you throw it away. It's you throw it away.
Yeah. Got to throw it in the direction the player is running to. That one's got a lot of edge on it.
I actually think there'd be... I would like to see in the rules that if you throw it and it's a turnover, it's a turnover, unless whatever is called directly affected the catch or whatever. So it's for like, there was a foul over there and you threw it down here, I need it back because there was a foul call, sort of stuff just disappears.
I think that's actually the way the rules are sort of trying to be written. However, it's probably up to the players to interpret them that way a bit more.
Golski. Yeah, I think that there's a rule that if it doesn't affect the player, you can retract it across the board, and that goes over every other rule, so
yeah,
do that a bit more.
The problem is I think a lot of players sort of like think.
Oops, that's the previous point.
I think that any sort of small sort of movement affected their run on.
Alrighty. Our gentlemen over there are still chilling out in the end zone.
I feel they need an esky. Just by the way that they are reclining.
Yeah. I should have brought an esky. Like cold solos. We actually had our fridge die last week. And all the stuff at the fridge died. And then yesterday it miraculously just started working again. And I was like, is that some sort of automatic defrost thing? Just turns off for 3 days. You'd think it would let you know.
Defensively, just for that throw, I would have liked to seen the defender put her hand up just to attempt a little bit of an interception, even though she wasn't watching the disc. We'll see it here on replay.
Yeah, just like wave your hands in the air, hopefully you get a touch.
Because you can see here, she's going to catch it up
so
high.
You kind of just jump.
You've got to put your into that space.
Yeah.
You've got to put your hands up into that space where they put their hands. Just a little.
I've definitely seen people
things.
get Ds just running around with their hands bobbing over their head just because they know the frisbee's coming and they get lucky. Like,
yeah, so it'd either be a real D or what I call a phantom D. You know, it just gets in the head and you're sort of expecting a bit of a deflection, but it doesn't happen, and just puts you off your game when you're catching.
Yeah, you kind of want to read the eyes of the person trying to catch it a little bit.
And you know it's coming up high, so you can put your hands up in the air.
There's so many things in Frisbee that are like context specific. Like it's hard to really like, what drill would you do with your team to train them to know to do that, right? It's not really something you actually...
Well, these are the little things I think that need to be trained in. You need to have specific sessions for someone who's going to get in the way and either actually or pretend do that D when it's about to land in your hand, just to put you off guard, but getting you prepared for that so that you realise, hey, I don't need to adjust my hand or get into my head thinking it's going to be D. I just got to catch it as though it's coming. Because the eyes do play tricks on you when you've got that defender there. They put that doubt in your mind. Is the disc going to come in as it's intended to? Is it going to get deflected?
Maybe before the pylons we could get something that stops the pole like swinging around in the wind by itself.
Not so sure what we're going to do about that one, Mikey.
It's not quite so sexy to really motivate the Patreons. It's like, oh, if everybody gives $1, we could make a little break thing that will make my life easier. Actually, what we need here is a drink holder that attaches to the pole cam. I'll do that for free. I don't need any Patreons for that. Although I think that's been on my list of things to do for 5 years now.
Quite some time.
We'll blame the pandemic. All right.
So Zig taking an extra minute or two for that time out, just to
out there.
rest. But they're looking happy. They got smiles on their face.
Pale moonlight. Do you know this one?
I do know that one. We go back
Someone's
to a little mouse
thinking
somewhere.
of me. I can never remember the next line. Something tonight.
Fifer.
Yeah, 5-all.
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 5-all's American Tail, right?
Yes.
So what's the score? 5-all. I was just seeing this on the field, but no one really ever gets it. I'm definitely aging myself.
No, that's good. No.
That's a coffee cart over
there. I got halfway there.
I see a coffee cart. That's my lunchtime break mission.
That's your out, your exit.
I feel sorry, like, it's great having a coffee cart here, but you tell the people, oh, there'll be like 500 people playing Frisbee. It's going to be great. Bring your coffee cart. But really, first thing in the morning, do you want a coffee before you play? Probably not.
Some do.
Some people do.
Don't.
Some people do. So there's this mad rush in the beginning, and then everyone's playing, so there's no coffee sold. And then there's this mad rush in the break.
I'm an exception to the rule. I don't drink coffee or tea. I'm not really a big fan of caffeinated drinks. I'm not a big fan of hot drinks.
And the pull is up. It's coming to you, Phil. Oh, not quite.
Not quite. It's coming back, though. That's a great catch there. And throw back.
Not so good.
Not so good.
It's worth a
replay. Unless he was aiming for that.
Bang.
Oh, Cody.
That was a pretty good duck, actually. That was a good duck.
Quack.
Required. Quack.
That's a low worm burner.
Seems like a lot of these, the release of the throw is very rushed. Like that seemed like it's great having a fast release, but I wonder if she actually had a bit more time there to.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
It's like she didn't fully step into it. It was kind of like a wrist throw rather than a step-in throw or something like that.
I think a lot of their turnovers have come from. Oh, that's a highlight reel play right there.
4 stars.
27.
Serve the greatness, throw the dump. Oh, we're in trouble. Greatness. Fast count. Does it still count as greatness conserved at this time after a bit of a...
I'm loving watching these women's matches, and just everything they're doing is just on point.
Just going to replay that layout from before. That was pretty fun.
It was dropping low, so she had to come back one hand.
Long way back to come too. Long way back to come to get the Frisbee. Very well done.
She won't release that. There's no one running fast enough for her going into the deep. So she decides that
Mickey's going deep.
Yeah, she decides I'm going to have to run instead if no one else is going to.
Yeah, send it to Mickey.
Just put it.
That's it.
That's going to drop short. She's been unhappy with that one. Did all the work to get there.
Problem is you want like Mickey throwing it and Mickey catching it. This is the problem, right?
You do.
Oh. Unlucky. Good defense.
Just talking about that.
Flutter guts before the game is great for that sort of catch. 5-all. Who will get the 5-all American tail point?
Oh, nice high release, but two straight to a Zig Theory player. Motion someone to go long.
You'd hope that that's still 9. It was almost like a thumber off the fingers kind of thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of spin on that one.
Mickey's got a really nice balanced throw release there. Like she sort of steps into it. Very
injury
balanced.
Here on the field. Someone got stepped on. She can walk off okay, but just feeling it in the foot. Not comfortable enough to keep running at full pace.
One of my yoga teachers was telling me about she bought a foot massager. She said it was amazing.
What's his name?
Her name?
No, the foot massager.
I don't know. It was a mechanical one, I believe. Her husband wasn't interested, so the mechanical one got the gong.
It'd be nice to have the money to buy a foot massager. Belinda puts that one up. Nice position that it ended up in that front corner, but unfortunately no one was there to receive it.
Good spot to put the opposition, though, I would say. Going to do it?
It is. So she's asking for a team to come in there way too deep going into this strong wind. It's a bit gusty. It picks up, it drops, it picks up again. But at the moment, it's picked up.
Very hard to huck from here. Everyone's going to go underneath.
Look to go infield, maybe up the line. No, infield again. She's got nothing. High stall count. Has to dump it. So still
keep him on that line. If you zig, don't you? No breaks.
If I was zig, I'd probably let that dump go. But as it is, it's going up the line. Solid hands again. We've seen her bring one down. And that's a good throw. Whoa. Receiver not up to the task.
Good projection into the wind with the flick, though.
No, that was fantastic. Had a lot of rotation on that. Kept it stable. Was nice and flat. Going into the wind. It was almost the perfect throw. It was the perfect throw, realistically. Just that the receiver wasn't on the same page. It's that was going up the sideline. Was always going to stay there. Was never going to come back in field.
Down.
And I think that Zig player is in her head a little bit. Just needs to put more rotation, more spin. Throwing into the wind drills is what they need.
And Chile hit the front for the first time.
First up window we've seen. They'll be happy with that one after that long throw.
Welcome, D-Was. How you doing, man? You know how you're good at everything? I reckon you'd probably be good at commentary. Not this time, okay. All right, I won't say that. Right, D-West, you're on.
He said, not this game. That's as good as this game as far as Mike's concerned.
That's one way to get... I'm playing next game. Oh, you're playing the next game, okay.
He's going to be commentating from on the field, are you?
Yeah, I could try that.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll do that. Tag you up with a headset, wireless. Can tell us how you see things on the field. That'd be great. We need to do that, Mike.
Yeah. Is that before or after the cameras in the cones? The camera cone?
Well, we've got 1 million Patreons, don't we?
Well, if we get it, we'll be
at $1
right,
each. I think that should cover it.
You'll be amazed how quickly you can spend money when you do broadcast stuff. So,
keeping it
real. Can I turn it off?
Keeping it real.
I can't actually turn it off at the moment. Oh, cool, if she wants to. More ladies, the better.
We love ladies in our commentary team.
Oh, bad luck. Little dunk, I guess. Didn't get it on the way in or the way out.
No. Phillips with the disc.
Oh, they got names on their shirts. Amazing.
Yeah, so I've been trying to
How do you know?
Well, I'm hoping they're all wearing their correct shirts. Yeah. That's a slide out. Probably needed to go face first to that one in order to bring it down.
It was probably in the zone. To the middle, a little bit off mark.
It's been a bit of the story of this Zig Theory team. Just a bit off mark.
Just not sticking in the hands, some of these.
Too far in front, a little bit behind.
Oh, hammer.
Unable to complete the possession for the score.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's have a look at that. That was a pretty good hammer throw.
So Zig
Defense
Theory
should have got this, though. Like, there's so much time. Like, the hammer goes. So much time to adjust and look. It's almost like there's no sideline talk there.
Couple of inside, one inside break down the break side. Rossler free. Phillips coming on the mark, and that's going up. And Lee's going to go for that, but defensively by Chile.
Lots of like technical reasons for the throws being off, like not quite. Oh, ha ha ha! Triple doink.
Put it. Phillips with height, Rosler with the position. Had to wait a long while. Zig Theory respond in the best possible way with an upwinder of their own. We're off a 5-all, we're onto 6-all. Do we have any songs for
I
6
don't know if I got a song for 6-all. If it was like 66-6, we could do like 666, the number of the beast by Iron Maiden. How about that one? But it's not quite.
3 teams on the
That's
field?
3 sixes.
We need,
Yeah.
Have we invented Frisbee for
6.
3 teams?
What if number 6 catches it? Is there a number 6?
There is on the field somewhere, I'm sure. I'm just saying that without checking, obviously.
I don't think it's got its own thing. So 5-all, we need one for 6-all. If you got, leave them in the comments or tweet at UltiTV. Can make some cool graphic for your 6-all.
While we're at it, just keep going with 7-all, 8-all, 9-all, 10-all if you can, please. Just so just having to say it.
6-all, 7-all, 9-all, 10-all. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
11-all, 12-all.
One for each is what I'm asking.
Oh, right. Then we only need to say the score every 2 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sufficient. Will Christopherson, Minnesotian originally.
Coach of the Zig Theory team.
He is. I don't know how he ended up in Adelaide, but
good luck for him and us, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't think he's ever regretted that move. It's a beautiful
It's a nice
place.
place. He was over in Israel for the. He was coaching with the Ultimate for Peace folks, and then came back. Never been to Israel. It says I was at the EUC Championships and they had an Israeli team. And apparently there's, like, whenever there's a sporting team travelling for Israel, there is a Mossad agent that travels with them who's armed.
Is
and
that
it's
a good
special
roller
dispensation.
or what?
What a pull.
It rolled from about halfway.
I like
kept
that.
going.
That's worth a replay.
Past 2 or 3 players. Here we
Have
go.
a look at this. Bang.
There it lands and it rolls.
Against the wind.
It passes 1.
Right back to the corner here. Great spot to put him. Prefer it on the other side of the field, I guess, with the wind how it is, but there you go.
That's exactly.
Turnover from the pool. That's great. Look at to go into the first part. There was a Galaxy point in the last game too. So
There's no urgency from Zig because they do an ISO play.
smart.
You see here the rest of the players are just like casually going back. We've got the 2 players, the thrower and the receiver, straight away, as soon as she plants a foot, they know what's happening. They've played before together.
Lovely.
So I wonder what's going through the Spicy Chili girls' heads at the moment, because they got the first up window. Zig Theory responded with the up window of their own. It's been even all the way. Is the Spicy Chili team thinking, what are we going to do at the moment? They had let a roller go past them. You'd feel as though if you're one of the Spicy Chili players, you'd be in your head going, what can we do? We can't do anything right at the moment. We can't seem to break them. Zig Theory, on the other hand, seem to be answering each call that's being put out to them.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's still only up by 1 though, right?
still only up by
Answering
1.
the call, but they should be ringing the bell.
So Chile, this is what they're doing now. Now they're starting to get a cheer on because they can feel there's like a little bit of downness in the team. They want to lift their players up.
Your shirt name placement, right? The names at the top, in the middle, and the back. But if you've got long hair and you've got a hair tie in, it literally
That's what I've
blocks
been thinking.
So
Exactly.
we probably need to move the name down to
maybe it can written
the bottom of the t-shirt.
or can be written top to bottom on the,
on the side,
on the
maybe.
side, left-hand side
nice.
or right-hand side.
More long plays from Chile. No defender anywhere near that receiver, so something went wrong there. Oh, it says Zoni? I don't know. It looks like they're moving it clammy. Oh,
Reels it in, back foot
Golski.
down.
what does that mean, Phil?
So have we checked the comments? Have we got one of our lovely home viewers commenting on what a 7-all song will be? But we don't worry about 7-all. What we worry about is the fact that
6-all,
we're in
yeah.
the stars at the moment.
Yeah, this is Galaxy Point.
Galaxy
Let's do it.
Point. We're in the stars. The heavens have opened up for Galaxy Point.
Very nice.
Shout out to that legend, that hero who invented Galaxy Point.
Yeah, Steph. What a champ. I'd like to claim that it was some kind of collaboration in our production meeting, but it was not. I think he just rolled it out one day. And we're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Works.
And it's a thing. As called on USAU Nationals finals, I believe.
Yeah, they call it a lot of
I don't
places
know if
now.
they all love it, but definitely one of the commentators thought it was a thing and said it on there, which we thought was pretty funny. But
We need a little controversy. That's the way the song goes. You either love it or hate it. I love it.
I hope you're not talking about Galaxy Point. Oh, you love Galaxy Point.
Yeah, I'm talking. We
We
love
need Galaxy Point t-shirts, don't we?
Galaxy one side, Universe the other.
I think you can't have Universe without Galaxy, right? If
Yeah.
you don't like Galaxy, you can't like Universe, and then you need another name for that, like Double Game Point, which is kind of boring, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Double Game Point. Paul stays in bounds.
Around the halfway
Reasonable
mark.
effort into the wind with the hang time, but the defense is there right as they arrive, so.
So someone in the deep. Oh, there was a
Phantom D.
chance and a half. Put into the right space.
Good layout to get in the head there. They just got enough in the eye line to make him think about it. Great work.
Good stuff.
So I've got someone to cover me today for the setup that the guys are doing so that I could be here. But unfortunately I have to go at 11 p.m. tonight and help them pack down all the stuff and then unload the truck back at base. So be a late night for me tonight and then early morning tomorrow. Oh, turnover, and Mickey Dummel has the frisbee again. To the grass there. Seemed to be like following the frisbee there rather than reading it and taking an intercept path. It was kind of fading away and the cut seemed to curve with it rather than cut the angle. Oh, lovely flick.
Down the line
Lots
again.
of defenders. Catch it ease.
Dummel springs to her feet to make sure that her player has it, so
Ball.
she's not going to call anything.
Back in.
Straight away, over the top. That's just floated perfectly. I was going to say perfectly, but didn't come down enough for the Zig player to grab it.
Right,
Went
this
over the
is
defenders.
Previous defense and backward roll. Sort of jumped up, went over the fingertips, but maybe should have ran with it a bit more. I don't know. It was moving with some velocity though, so it's hard to judge the depth from here. Guess if you can get it early, get it early. I need some good drills for reading the frisbee. Hey, that'd be a great thing.
Yeah.
Used to play marks up back in the day, but I don't know if that was great for reading it. It's number 27's all over it. Oh, just behind him, and danger of that flick again. It's harder to put the touch on it. I remember when I did a lot of work on my forehand grips back in the day, and I basically, to get a long throw, I needed a different grip than the short throw. And in the end of it, I worked out it was better to have the grip that gave me touch on the forehand in the range like 5 to 30 metres than have a different grip that...
Oh, fumble and a
fumbles.
chance. Goes begging.
Unfortunate that one. Went for the clap catch. That's kind of what you want. There's sometimes thumbs up, fingers underneath when it's out in front of you like that is sometimes better. This is one of those things with frisbee, like every scenario has a slightly different preferred way of doing it. Turnover. Oh, they're slowly making net gains down the field.
So we've seen a bit of physicality in the last few points, or in this point in particular. That was right on the
Goal.
front cone. So Galaxy Point ends up with Zig Theory taking half, 8-7. With not much left of this game, we're 65 minutes in. 15 minutes of regulation time left to play. We'll have a highlights reel and be back in a moment.
Oh, on an advert, let's do that, eh?
Do that as well.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
back here for the second half. Zig Theory to kick us off with the frisbee.
A word from the Zig camp is that they're not doing anything terribly wrong. They need to look at their cuts a bit more, especially turning in to the middle of the field. But really just more of the same, but better. I suspect probably a similar story coming out of the Chile camp.
8-7, 71 minutes, so 10 minutes odd left.
That one will come out over the sideline, and the brick is called.
All right, so this will be it. I think we've got 3 men's games on the trot after lunch. Nice pick up there. Whoa, another one. Sharp catch. It's not a great sign if you're coaching that you have to take a lot of those sort of catches, though, because you kind of want better throws than... That was pretty cool.
Yeah, great layout deep from behind.
Just sort of added pressure to it, didn't it?
Chung with the disc. Off the fingertips. Travels the call.
It's probably the first travel call so far too.
Mm.
Well, except for the one. I'm not sure if travel was called on the far one for ellipsis because she kind of ran forward and then she ran back. I'm not even sure if there was a call. And that'll be a good one for a rules chat with Ruben to ask about that one.
So I have a feeling Wynn's gonna come into play a little bit more. Chung,
nice save.
Diving. Handlers just moving it between themselves.
Good. Just behind him again.
This wasn't enough movement upfield for the Zig Theory handlers to do something with. And again, wind coming into play for that one, just pushing it beyond the reach of the player in the back of the end zone.
I guess with a flick like the turnover before, it's very high risk to throw like a 2.5 metre flick into a short window. Like, there's a lot of things can go wrong. So is it worth 2 metres for that throw? Maybe just don't throw that and wait or something else.
This is the eternal question I think as a handler you've got to ask yourself. Is the potential of a catch out or not potential of a catch outweighed by just throwing it long and gaining some distance?
Yeah, I mean, I particularly think like if you've got less than ideal dump you have to make and it's under pressure and the time's expiring, it's getting high, that's not worth the risk of a sideways pass at that point for something that's not 100%. You're really just better off. If it's like a 50% dump pass, a 20% long pass would be better, I guess. Actually get the frisbee back. And Zig get the frisbee back.
Just wants to put it long. There's a player out there. Tries to put it around. No, blocked.
Good work on the mark there. Kind of sensed the emergency of the moment.
So a lot of backwards movement before they can make it sideways, and there's an easy drop there.
Drop, yes, but there also is low throw, so it makes it just a little bit harder than it could have been. And Chile, what do we got now? A pair of snowmen. It's great Steph Rapazzo used to say, 8-all. I think Zig will be disappointed on that. They had quite a few bites at the cherry to get it down the other end.
They did.
But Chile, to their credit, they just went bang, bang, bang. And Chile still hanging around, Spicy Chili.
That's a nice into the wind pull. Wind has died a little bit now, as I said, it's just a bit up and down. That's a great intercept.
27 again, whose hoodie covers her name.
Done more.
Not in my house.
No.
Well, not in her house, I should say.
There's a player going long. Not long enough. That just put into a lot of space by Tran.
Yeah. See, that's like a backhand, but that probably, the forehand opens that angle up. Whereas the backhand, you kind of make it, it's just a real tight kind of thing. I guess it's all technical stuff, isn't it? It's like technical.
The other things you have to drill at this level.
Yeah. Great fakes there on the mark. Swing round the back. Oh,
Didn't read that.
just came underneath and couldn't come back with it. Although the wind is going that way, so it does, you've got to adjust your read for that.
Must admit, I think with that wind, I would have expected it to drop a bit earlier as well. Could be a bit swirly over there, though. Strong one-handed grab.
Oh, didn't quite snag it on the first time. And Spicy looking to take the lead again.
Yeah, not the story, the script that Zig Theory wanted, but it does look like Chile
Great dub
in
defense
a
there.
very
Shut
good
it down.
position to get one more on the board, and that's the one that they want.
High stall too. That was
So Zig Theory had their
lucky.
chances down the other end. Not just this point, but previous points as well. You do write your own story a lot of the time, no matter what sphere of endeavour you're in. On the Frisbee field, very important to make sure the story you write is the one you want. So you've got to come down with those
well,
catches.
in life in general, right, Phil?
Exactly.
You can write the story you want.
Got to come down with the catches in the end zone if you want to come out with a win. So my gut's telling me that Zig Theory now are in a hole that they're probably unlikely to come out of, especially given we're at the 79-minute mark. 15 seconds of regulation
Might be
before
going to University. Finish this one. That'll be game to 10.
if they can get the up window.
I think it's anyone's game at the moment.
And there's the horn.
Oh, 3 seconds off again. Well, I think they messed up their horn signalling. I thought it was 3 horns for the open games and 2 horns for the women's, but back in the day I actually built like an automatic timer. Well, it wasn't automatic, but the idea was to make it automatic so you could just rig up the game times and it would just blow the hooter when it...
Too much handler movement, in my opinion.
Big point, big turnover.
And
I wonder if it's almost a huck and set kind of end here just to get it down the other end, isn't it?
Lee's done a lot of those sort of like quick passes that just haven't come off.
Oh, what a grab.
And that all but ensures it. We do have one more point to play, though, at the very least.
That's a heartbreaker.
Zig Theory hoping for at least 3.
Big hole, though. So they were just like hanging around, and they just, like, even though Zig had the play, they never quite put it away earlier in the match. What a grab, though. Look at this.
Great
Just
grab.
I
Great layout.
thought it was dead for all money, and she's just gone, no. Hey, CC. Look at me doing commentary. Yeah, it's on. You can't, thanks. You can't say anything too offensive.
You're saying you can
Cece's
say something
just run away.
a little offensive, but not too
Yeah,
offensive.
yeah. Maybe we should, I did see Billy Connolly did like a stand-up comedy masterclass. I wonder if we should add that to our required reading for commentators.
I think it should be required.
Had things like stepping over the line, comedy mindset. I imagine it would quite. Did talk about hecklers too in the dot points I saw, but
You've got to get used
he's
to
the
those and have the
funniest guy.
comebacks.
I've never laughed so hard at anyone. It was like a video I was watching of him, and he just knew, he just like changed his stories to match the crowd so well. But he generally has like 2 or 3 threads of a story going, and he'd jump between them all. Like, it's just hard to keep up.
Love good, intelligent comedy. Oh, the rotating pull.
I love the spin move. All right, must score. Must score for Zig.
So in the grand scheme of things, this would be their easiest score with the win behind them.
Yep.
In theory, Zig theory that is.
Nice.
These one-handed grabs keep scaring me, I must admit.
Tough, like with a little bit of wind and you're out with them, that's the problem.
So movement going well. Looking off the long options. Now this is where they get in trouble with too many dumps.
Oh, great
bid, yeah.
Right, she's up and about. Number 27.
She feels the
Approaching in
urgency.
the lane.
Okay, Chung up the line. Big around. Not continued.
So, Tori.
So this is
Oh,
what I'm
another
talking about.
one-hander.
A lot of just handler movement. And this is where they've got in trouble before, and they've tended to turn it over.
It's okay if you don't turn over.
And in the
Oh,
end,
Spek.
well, they did make ground rather than turn it over in the handler space. But
Should be a lot of value in like taking a shot at some point. Like you might not work, but you get a chance to score. So that's like a risky kind of over the throw. But if you make that to the end zone, maybe someone misreads it or whatever. Or
this is danger territory now. This is their handler.
yeah.
Main threat, 21.
Oh, that's a
Great
lovely
throws,
throw.
great reads, great bids.
Ah. But always, so how quick they're down the other end with Chile, like they're attacking the sideline.
So
Like there's much more clear space for them systematically in front on their
there's a
sideline
call
calls.
going on here. So I'm not sure what
They're
this
saying
call
it's
is
an
about.
injury call. It might have been before the throw. But I believe even the injury call is superseded for the if it doesn't affect it, you can let the turnover stand rule. Goes over all the other rules, including the injury rule.
Yeah. So be prepared
It's like
for
a-
a big huck, I reckon, here.
It's like a cramp more than an ankle there, so hopefully that's all it is. It would be very good to just send it down the other end of the field. I think that would be smart.
So Dunwell's not happy that they've got a big thrower just yet. Now someone's running. That's a good placement. Be
And
careful.
hit it.
Don't get over confident. Dump space. Front corner of the end zone. No one's getting free. That's going to go
That's
over the
clever.
top.
Lovely.
Oh, it's one-handed, and it's brought down. So, as I was saying before, this is going to be Zig Theory's easiest score in terms of regaining control of this game. It's now 9-10. They do have to get the up window, and they've been very rare in the grand scheme of things this match. Had a couple, but they are as rare as hen's teeth at the moment. And especially at this stage, the evolution of this game at the very least. Spicy Chili will be very aware that they need to get this down window, and they'll pull out all stops that they can think of in order to stop Zig Theory from getting that up window. What do you think is going to happen here, Mike?
Oh, should do the camera work. It's definitely Spicy Chili's to lose, I think. You got a downwind shot.
Yeah.
I imagine they would do like maybe 2 passes and a huck just to get it down the other end. That's probably what
I'm with you on the same page there.
like. I don't think we'll get a swing pass, put it that way. It'll be like gain a huck or gain a huck or something like that just to get it down the other end.
Yeah.
I guess if you were Zig, I'm not 100% sure that I wouldn't deliberately put this way out of bounds for a brick so that your defenders are all caught.
I'd actually this is what I'd like to see Spicy Chili do. I'd like to see them pull out a solid zone.
I like a huck and set.
Yeah. Well, just if there's a turnover. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe. It's definitely windy enough for that. Huck and set.
Like they
buy
put
yourself a short turn, score
it's
a win.
not so huck and set for huck and set's sake, but like you said, 2 short passes, bring it upfield, just beyond the brick mark, about halfway, put something deep into the end zone, a real option, which they can score off of. If they don't, put a strong zone on.
That's interesting. They put the disc on the fat side. I'd be trying to get it over this side from the pool.
Bit of marshalling, directing of the troops, what she wants. Okay, now we're into that territory where we can see that disc get put up. It's not a big put, but it gets it. Knocking on the door just about. That's high.
Get it. Oh, you got to catch that.
It's no call.
It's a bit timid into the pack there.
Nice break. Phillips, 17 with a disc. And that's the game, folks. Spicy Chili, victors 11-9.
Oh, well, they didn't do what I thought. I thought they'd just do the pink, 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 but...
Obviously on different pages to the commentary team, but it worked nonetheless. That's very good. We have a bit of a break. How long to our next game, Mike?
I believe it's 1 o'clock, so I don't know what the time is now, but I'm going to go see if the coffee truck is still going and find some food-looking stuff.
So enough time to go through the Ulti TV archives, have a look at some of their old games, and we'll be back a bit after lunch local time with our next game. We've got 3 games coming up for the rest of the day.
Just got that final replay ready here. Nice little inside out, and then on the break side. See you later.
Ulti.tv.